Good day, everyone. Today we will present to you our review of the journal article. My group mates are Abukay Franz Joseph, Alamis Ian Carl, Castillo Brian Julius, Kayupan Kim Howard, and yours truly, Kappa Algebra. The journal article is Evaluating Workplace Safety in the Oil and Gas Industry During the COVID-19 Pandemic, Using Occupational Health and Safety Vulnerability Measure and Partial Least Square Structural Equation Modeling. The authors are Joshua Guzman, Gwyn Arian Ricoco, Al Wahid Pandi, Jericho M. Padrones, Jonathan Jared Ignacio. For the abstract,
The main goal of this project is to analyze workplace safety in the oil and gas industry during the COVID-19 pandemic using partially square structure equation modeling. As the construction to be assessed, the five components of the occupational health and safety vulnerability measure were taken into consideration, namely the exposure to workplace hazards, policies and procedures in the workplace, perception on health and safety in the workplace, self-awareness in health and safety procedures and responsibilities, and preventive measure of the prevention of the transmission of COVID-19 at workplace. The online survey was completed by 50 oil and gas personnel from around the world and used Smart PLS to analyze the result. The study concluded that in order to increase workplace safety, even during the pandemic, oil and gas companies should continue to have a positive view on their health and safety culture.
Methods. Study approach. There are three significant steps involved in the study approach of this study, and it is shown in the flowchart provided. Step 1. Gather respondents' opinion using a Google Form online survey questionnaire. Step 2. Analyze the data using partial least square structural equation modeling or PLS-SEM via Smart PLS software. This also includes structural model analysis. And step 3. Interpret the results, factors that significantly affect the workplace safety in the oil and gas industry, and measurement model evaluation. Next slide, please. Study model and hypothesis. The study focuses on finding the areas that has significant impact on the workplace safety during the pandemic. The researchers assessed the occupational health and safety or OHS vulnerability to find that out. The study used partial least square structural equation modeling from the Smart PLS software, which is a non-parametric approach that makes no distributional assumption and can evaluate small sample sizes. The study model and hypothesis are based on Lay et al. 2016, where its elements are shown in the tables below. So those two tables are the tables that are based on Lay et al. The next is survey instrument and measurement scale. So the researchers use questionnaires or online questionnaires as their primary instrument, and it is divided into 6 segments. The measurement scale used is 5-point Likert scale. Next slide, please. Data collection and analysis. The researchers collected the data by sending link of Google Forms to individuals who are currently working in oil and gas industry through email and social media. The collected Google Form responses are then extracted as Excel files using Google spreadsheets. Then the responses were reviewed to see if there are any incomplete responses. After checking, data sets will be imported to Smart PLS3 software for PLS SEM analysis. So the figure or the illustration here is the hypothesis study model. That's all.
So for the resulting discussion, the first part is the demographic profile of the respondents, in which are the age, nationality in their work, On this study, the gathered data are from 50 professionals working in the oil and gas industry in different companies in countries includes the Denmark, Philippines, United Kingdom, United States of America, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. And what you can see in the PowerPoint presentation is the world map indicates and shows the location of the respondents with their respective professions. With 50 respondents, the majority or the 32 individuals were 25 to 44 years old, 16 were 22 to 24 years old, and only 2 were 45 years old and above. Their gender composition was 6% female and 94% male. Most of the respondents were working as site H2S specialists or technicians, 12%, followed by HSE advisor or consultant, and the field engineers. The huge population proportion of these respondents is consist of direct company employees. For further discussion, let's proceed for Mr. Kappa.
This is the measurement of model assessment. Several statistical tests were employed to assess the measurement model. In Table 3, each construct and its respective indicators were tabulated with the result of the outer loading, internal consistency, and convergent validity test. Also, there were two parameters considered, convex alpha and composite reliability. Both of these parameters were used by the researchers to determine the similarities of the scores of the indicators per construct. In this study, all constructs were able to satisfy the threshold for internal consistency reliability test. For the convergent validity test, the average variance extracted was calculated. The AVE is the quantity of the amount of variance taken via a latent variable regarding the measurement error caused by the amount of variance. In this study, all items fulfill the recommended ranges for average variance extracted, except for exposure to workplace hazards, self-awareness, and health and safety procedures and responsibilities, and preventive measure for the transmission of COVID-19 at workplace. Next table. A discriminant validity test was also performed using Fornell-Larker criterion as seen in Table 4. Table 4 confirmed the discriminant validity of all remaining constructs. The discriminant validity shows how distinct each construct from each other. The square root of average per construct was calculated to obtain the cross-loadings of each construct. The cross-loadings of each construct represented by the underlined bold numbers must be higher than the respective average to confirm the discriminant validity. This was to verify if the constructs are appropriate and representing each other corresponding construct. Next slide. In this part, this is the structural model assessment. The table 5 here in the screen is hypothesis testing. It was solved and confirmed by calculating path coefficients, t-statistics, p-value, effect size, coefficient of determination, variance inflation factors, and predictive relevance. According to the researchers, based on the result of the analysis, it reveals that only the perception on health and safety culture in the workplace was a significant predictor of workplace safety in the oil and gas industry during the pandemic. Therefore, this study supported H3 and rejected H1, H2, H4, and H5. Next slide.
For the conclusion, among the 5 areas of the occupational health and safety vulnerability measure, only the perception of health and safety culture positively affects the workplace in the oil and gas industry during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the analysis, it was suggested by the empirical interpretations that it must have to enhance the survey questionnaire. Accordingly, this study recommends improving further the measurement items by increasing the number of measurement items and the modification of it. The results can be used as a tool or hypothetical basis for companies to further develop the safety knowledge management system that enhances the areas of workplace hazard, policies and procedures in the workplace, self-awareness in health and safety procedures and responsibilities, and preventive measure for prevention of the transmission of COVID-19 at workplace, and promote health program for the workers of the oil and gas industry. That's all. Thank you for listening and stay safe and stay hydrated.